Hi there, I'm James Osborne, the co-founder of the Recruitment Network, and this is the TRN Podcast. Every week, we unpack the strategies, the technologies, the processes and mindsets fueling today's top-performing recruitment agencies. We take a look behind the scenes of some great recruitment businesses. We listen to the real-life stories of those who have built those businesses, and we learn from some of the industry's greatest thought leaders to help you become both future fit and future relevant. So let's begin with this next episode of the TRM podcast.
So let's get into what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to rush through loads of things. So don't worry, if you take the recording, you can play it back on a slightly slower speed. But I am really excited about the market at the moment. So you ain't going to slow me down, I'm afraid. And as James Dyson quite rightly said, the moment you want to slow down is exactly the moment you should be accelerating. This is a golden opportunity for the recruitment sector right now. This is an opportunity that I don't think we've had ever before, where we're going to see a whole bunch of recruitment businesses come out of the back of this. But ultimately, this doesn't need to be a massive shift. I think this is where people are getting this wrong. They're thinking, oh my God, the market's so different. I need to do a massive left turn and change and rip up the rule book. You don't. What you need to do is small improvements across your business, added together, that compounded impact together creates a serious change in profitability. So imagine you're just going to improve parts of your business by 10%, do things differently or better by 10%. Add all that together, it will significantly change your performance as a recruiter, as a recruitment company. You don't necessarily need to hire people in this market to grow anymore. You just need to improve some of the things that you're already doing by small amounts. 10% will do, I think, across a number of those areas. Does that make sense? So this is about how do we just squeeze more, be better, do more, do better in this type of marketplace, just by 10% across different areas. And I just touched on it. I've got a couple of blog posts going out about this because I've been obsessed by the Olympics. I'm sure many of you have the Winter Olympics, not just the curling, by the way, which I love. But actually just looking at the difference between the person in the Olympics who was on the podium with the gold medal and the person who came fourth. This is not, they weren't even on the podium. These are people who came fourth. The difference is so unbelievably small if you think about it. This is the 1500 meter speed skating. The difference between first and fourth was just a second, just over a second, which over 1500 meters is less than 1%. So the difference between someone who is winning and someone who's not even basically, remember, let's be honest about it, not even on the podium, however brilliant they are, is like a 1% improvement or 1% gain over the other people. Similar, and if you look at it in the women's downhill skiing, 0.86 seconds between first and fourth. It's madness when you think about it. So this is not about significantly doing things differently. It's about small marginal improvements to do things better. And this all starts with the data. Your profitability, your performance as a recruitment company, as a recruiter, is driven by data. Recruitment is a data business, an information business. You need to run your business through data, because if you don't understand the data behind what drives your business growth and profitability, how you make money, then you can't repeat it, you can't replicate it. And if you don't understand what doesn't drive value, what whittles away profitability, then you risk repeating those dysfunctional behaviors within your business. Okay, so you've got to understand the data, and then we need to then focus on how do we improve that data by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% over the course of the next 30, 60, 90 days. And I love it when I sit down with the recruitment leaders at the beginning of a month and they go, I'm going to really home in on one thing or two things in the next month, and I'm going to improve these things so I get continuously different and better in my business, whether that be customer and candidate churn, whether it be improving my net contribution per job or my average fill rate or my speed of a conversion. Because if you do that, add all that together over a period of time, especially if you've got multiple recruiters, it's transformative when it comes to your profitability. So not massive changes, little tiny micro improvements across your business. Make sense? And across your desk. Hopefully it does. Imagine this scenario as a recruiter or whatever. You've got 20 jobs per year. You do 10K average fee. You've got a 60% fill rate. Your average time to fill is 30 days, and 50% of your time is spent on recruitment admin. And the other side is spent on filling jobs and out and about winning new business. So your revenue is about 120K per year, average recruiter type thing. Imagine you focus on just 6 areas of what that recruiter does to find a 10% marginal improvement in each area. So let's say you improve their feeds by 10%. You improve, they've got 10% better clients, less time wasters. They had a 10% higher fill rate, 10% faster delivery, 10% less admin time, and more time therefore spent on sales, etc. The compounding effect of all these areas, there's other things you can add to this list, is significant. At least 168 grand's worth of revenue just by finding ways to improve those different areas. So that's the concept behind this. So, and we've got a toolkit we built called the Profit Maximizer. If you really want to get into this properly, then ask me and I'll send you the copy of the Profit Maximizer. And you can pump in your own data, your own vital statistics. And you can then literally tweak a couple of areas and it will show you what you would have billed and what you could be billing if you just improve 1, 2, or 3 of those areas. If you want to copy that, let me know and I'll ping that across to you. But understand the data and then do something about it. Don't just look at it and go, oh, that's interesting. Bloody well do something about it and find the improvements. And this is all about understanding your business, understanding your desk. Do you actually know truly where you really make money? The things you do, the clients you work with, the types of jobs you work on that actually make money, and where do you lose money at the same time? And we have this list here that we use all the time when we talk about those productivity improvements and go, actually in your business today, are these things helping you or are they actually holding you back? Are they a hindrance? No, your average deal size, is it good enough? Could you improve it? Your pipeline deal velocity, could it be better? Lead generation efficiency, and so it goes on and so it goes on. Examples of things that you could focus on. Pick half a dozen of those, get obsessed by them, improve them 1, 2, 5, 10%. See the impact it makes to your business when you do that across a few or 3 or 4 of them. Okay, and we've got example after example that some of you may know Simon Tops, I should say, from Addition Solutions. He posted about this on LinkedIn, been a member of TRN now for just about 7 or 8 months or so. But we took him through this, so we went through this productivity analysis piece that he went through from one of our roundtable events with the members. Absolutely eye-opening, massively transformed his business. It really significantly improved because he's now obsessed about productivity improvements and getting a much better return on investment. The impact of his business is huge. So that's what we're suggesting everyone goes through. Now, there are 100 metrics you can impact, obviously. Let's just focus on a few. These are in your control. They're not market reliant. They're leverage-led rather than labor-led. It's not about people necessarily. It's about process. And they are strongly compounding. You do all these together, add them together, massive impact. Now, I'm not going to run through all these in detail. I'll share these slides with you afterwards. But if I was to pick 6 today and basically had a sprint plan for the next 30, 60, 90 days, I'd probably focus on these 6. So what's my average fee deal value and what am I doing to improve that? The quality and my client quality mix, so making sure I'm getting better relationships with better clients and less distractions. My sales conversion rates, so improving my meetings to jobs and jobs to fees, my time to fill and delivery speed, my candidate reuse rate, using my candidates as assets to create more jobs, more opportunities, more placements, and then removing and reducing the amount of admin and non-billable time I've got. So if I was just obsessed by those in the next sprint and you can get those bits right, you watch what it does to your business without doing anything significantly differently. And again, I'll share these slides with you later on and you can have a look through this in more detail about what things to focus on, about increasing your average fee and deal value, in getting better clients, improving your conversion rates, your time to fill rates, your candidate reuse rates, and then reducing that admin and non-billable time as well. Okay, so we're going to focus on some of these today. I'll give you some practical things to sort of look at, but again, we'll share more with you afterwards. So a 2026 recruiter, a 2026 recruitment business, really, they value their time more so than ever before, and they value their value. I think this is so important. I always hate how sometimes I think recruiters are quite submissive and submersive about who they actually are and what they do. We need to really start valuing ourselves once again, really valuing the importance that we make to the industry and the importance we make to organizations and to candidates' lives for that matter as well. And we go out and bloody well charge for it as well. Hold our heads held high and go and charge for the premium for the product and the service that we provide. And we're starting to see more of this happening now, which is great. It's about bloody time too, as far as I'm concerned. But let's have a look at this from a commercial point of view. Most recruitment companies run at around 16 to 22%, and they focus particularly on contingent recruitment. Let's just focus on perm for the second. If you do retain recruitment, that generally shoots itself up to over 25 to 35% margins, more in some cases, which is good. But if you start doing more sort of advisory type work and what we call talent diagnostics, you can start pushing for more like 45 to 65% margins, and there's no success dependency on that. So if you could get 10 to 25% of your revenue coming from some form of consultancy advisory type service, you can lift your overall margins to well over 30, 35% average. That's really interesting. That's really exciting. And that's one of the things that we're spending a lot of time with recruiters and recruitment companies on at the moment is how do we shift from being these low margin contingent recruitment businesses into these high margin, highly profitable talent consultancies. And I'm not overflowering this, and I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. It's just the reality of what we're seeing happening at the moment. This is not something new. We're seeing it. It's happening day in, day out. We're getting some great results off the back of it. And I'm going to touch on this bit because we do a whole program on this, but If you think about it, this is what we're referring to as this white space. You've got recruiters on the left-hand side who are basically selling people and a bit of insight, and maybe a little bit of diagnostic stuff. You've got talent consultancies on the right-hand side, big consultancy firms working with your customers today, selling transformational projects and governance and proper diagnosis, and maybe with a bit of people at the end of it type stuff. This is the opportunity. It's what we refer to as the white space. Recruiters charging a fee, consultancies charging a ridiculously big fee, and there's a white space in the middle, which is undercutting the consultancies, but driving up the value of a recruitment business, getting better margins. And what this creates is this white space trap for your customers. So on the left-hand side, you've got recruitment supply, which traditionally is quite reactive, it's quite role-focused, transactional, quite narrow in the relationship you have with your customers. That's predominance of our industry. On the right-hand side, you've got these consultancies who are slow, they're expensive, they're well over-engineered and well over-scoped. And then therefore your clients are trapped between the two because they sort of want both things, but they want it better. And if we can then provide a place in that white space for our customers, give them what they're looking for, so faster, cheaper, under-engineered consultancy work supported by really proactive and transformational recruitment in the middle, that's where you're going to kill this marketplace. And that is where there are huge margins to be had right now. And we're seeing it day in, day out. We refer to these as capability projects. So that white space is where you fill it with capability projects because clients don't want CVs anymore. They want certainty, they want insight, and they want direction. We know that. They're asking us for that. They're wanting to spend money with us, but maybe just not in the way that we're packaging and selling our current services and products to our customers. That's the opportunity. What's driving these projects? Well, all these things you're seeing on the screen. So just speccing out a CV to a customer is not going to help them solve some of these issues and challenges that they're facing and the things they're trying to tackle at the moment. Working with them in a partnership format, delivering a capability project to help them solve this stuff and they will pay for it. That's the opportunity for smart, savvy recruiters, 2026 recruiters who want to move up the food chain from where they are. And I've shown, some of you would have seen this before. I've used this as an example. This is a project, a large organization. They brought a consultancy firm in to come and do a whole load of workforce planning, look at their recruitment tech, process redesign and rollout, etc. They put together a project team to deliver it. This is the consultancy company, or those people on the left-hand side. In the orange, that was what they charged, basing per consultant, their day rate for those people. And the duration was 20, 60, 40, 30 days as a project. So the consultancy firm in total charged about £500,000. A recruiter, a recruitment company can recruit exactly the same team of people, exactly the same people. And then our cost to deliver that, as you can see in the white, under capability project, our cost to deliver that exactly the same team. The difference is about £380,000 different between what a consultancy firm is charging and what it actually costs to deliver that project. So somewhere in that £380,000 is a beautiful margin for you as a recruiter, you as a recruitment company to go after and go and take. That's really, really exciting. And that's recruitment 101. It's just consultancy firms have repackaged it. This is not statement of work based on outcomes. If anything, it's statement of work based on time and materials and nothing more than that. Okay. If you need help with that, we've got a tool, an agent I built called a capability projects finder. You literally just type in your market and location, and it will help you actually identify and find these types of projects that you can go and pitch for. There are loads and loads and loads of them out there at the moment, but you won't be looking for them because you're looking for jobs at the moment. If any of you want a copy of the agent, just let us know in the chat and we'll send you the actual agent itself, the link to the agent, and you can have a go at that. Just type in your market, accountancy, London, or whatever it might be, and it will find you projects in your market. Go and pitch for them, see what you can pull out the back of those. And this is about moving recruiters, 2026 recruiters up the food chain, moving not just placement, but moving into retained, not just retained, moving into advisory, moving into transformational change projects with your customers. Now, don't think I'm far-fetching this or making it over the top. I'm really, really not. This is actually simple. You're actually probably doing a lot of this already, and I'm going to show you why in a second. But it's about increasing margin, influence, stickiness, and predictability with your client base. And that's what this is all about in this market. So you build a consultancy menu, and I'm touching on this today. I'll do a whole program on this. A consultancy menu. Your core menu might include things like this: salary benchmarking, market mapping, talent diagnosis, candidate experience auditing, skills app analysis. By the way, I was with a couple of members fairly recently, and they said, "We do all this stuff, James." Yeah, I know, but you don't charge for it. consultancies package this up and go and charge your customers for it. Why the hell are we not charging for this? It's insanity at best. You're doing half of this already. And you could be charging £1,500, £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a month for customers to access this stuff and to access your services for doing this. Okay. So just think about that conceptually. You might be doing a lot of this stuff already, but you could be doing it a lot more and packaging up and selling it as part of your service offering. We've been working lots with the members recently using tech and AI to build platforms to do this for us. Because if you think about it, you already own these assets. You already have live market data, salary intelligence, the people you're speaking to every single day, candidates and clients. You know what's going on in the marketplace. You know what's broken. You know what hiring trends look like. You know what candidate behavior is like right here, right now. We understand this based on data and conversations. The consultancies are just inferring this stuff. They don't know the difference. We do. So we already own this data. We already own these assets, which is great. Now package it up and go and sell the bloody things to your customers and go and create a whole load of revenue for yourself that you didn't have before. Or at the very least, just move yourself well up the food chain on that consultancy ladder we talked about before. So this is basically going to your customers with data, sentiment market, benchmarking, economic data, whatever, bring it all together and creating strategy with your customers about hiring and about future workforce planning, the stuff you're talking about anyway, but just go and sell that, monetize it as much as you can. And we've done this. We built some tech and tools around this that you're more than welcome to have a look at. We do this in ourselves internally. So a lot of the insights and the reports that we create are created through our data center that we've built using AI to then build out these outputs and these outcomes for us, which is great. This is actually the platform that we built or I built. An AI platform that does this for us. So I literally pump in a load of, create a new report. I pump in a whole load of new data, upload all that data. The data then, the system then creates the report for me. And then that produces a report similar to that one there. I just showed you sort of stuff. So it's really simple, really, really quick, really, really effective. And you can pull the data automatically now from your platforms and from your systems and from your CRMs, etc. And what you're seeing on the screen here, by the way, are actual live examples of TRN members who have built their own platforms pretty much for free, by the way, because this stuff is an AI, you can do it for free now, really, really, really bloody quickly. It's pulling in data from their customers, from their CRMs, etc., and then sharing that data in a way that is visually compelling and something they can charge for. I built this one literally yesterday for a member. It looks exactly like this. We built it in 25 minutes, no more complicated than that. And it works, it's living and breathing, and it's pulling in data that they're now giving people access to. You notice a little button here that says upgrade plan. What we're now going to be doing is actually charging customers if they want to get the free stuff, they can. If they want to upgrade, they can get a paid version of this as well. And this looks really, wow, this is pretty cool and pretty sexy and pretty techy and that sort of stuff. 25 minutes for free to build the damn thing using AI. This is simple stuff now. You've got to get your head into this. Now, that's some of the basic stuff around data. You can then take it more advanced than that. You can look at workforce planning, succession planning, competitive talent intelligence, productivity benchmarking. So it goes on, charging £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 a month or 30, 40 grand for a project to do this. Well, you've got proper enterprise stuff, which is proper embedded RPOS transformational projects and partnerships with your customers. Now, you may look at this and go, I just need recruiters to build and pick up jobs. Fine, they will do that. This doesn't replace that. But if 10, 20, 30% of your business is coming from some of this type of stuff, watch what it does to your productivity and performance as a company and as a recruiter as well. This is not far-fetched. This is a reality of what a 2026 recruiter is now up to and what they're now doing. Smaller agencies, far more significant productivity, profitability, and effectiveness. Okay, hopefully that makes some semblance of sense. So what we call the pinnacle moments. Your recruitment at the bottom of your pinnacle is of the triangle basically is about earning access to get into your customers. Then from there, we can then do workforce augmentation to scale revenue up. And then we want to get strategic value with our customers, which is what driving margins and valuations. That's the pinnacle moment that we're referring to. And again, just look at the fee difference. Contingency recruitment is tough at the moment. It's 16 to 22% at best if you can get deals over the line. You start doing some of this other stuff and suddenly the margins double. You don't need to do all your desk or your business doing that, but some of it massively transformational. And this is a mindset shift. It's not about becoming consultants, all that type of stuff. You can outsource that to your bench. You might have a bunch of consultants that you're placing out on contract to do some of these projects, etc. But it's about monetizing your data and insight as an additional component of what you're already doing. So let's stop saying, hey, we can come and help you fill X, Y, and Z roles. Let's start talking about how we can unlock growth across your entire talent ecosystem. We can help you from attraction to retention to engagement, etc. It's the same expertise, it's the same people, it's the same stuff you're doing today, but you're just packaging it up differently, and you're getting a very, very different margin off the back of it, which hopefully makes some similar sense. I've dabbled on this, I've touched on this today. If you want to get involved in that, we've got the Pinnacle program itself. Come and get involved in this, and you'll see exactly how you can do it. And also with the agents that we've built and the workflows and the training courses, etc., which will be all there for the members to access. So then we go to this whole point about this difference in positioning as a recruiter, and how often are our recruiters or us individually as a business, are we going to our customers and bringing insights to them rather than just asking them for jobs? This is not a market to be running around just asking for jobs. This is a market to get closer to your customers, add value, and offer them and provide them with insights as much as you can. And this, you've seen this in the sales funnel, right? It sits at the top of the sales funnel to do exactly the same sort of process. There's my sales funnel. I'm producing insights at the top of my funnel to warm up my customers, to add value to them, to create more visibility for me, and then do that at velocity and volume using AI. So this sits within the sales funnel as much as anything else, as does your personal brand. The top of the sales funnel is about your brand. There's no doubt in my mind the recruiters of 2026 need to be a really, really, really strong personal brand in the marketplace. It drives the top of the funnel activity as much as anything else. And this is not complicated. You just need to have a plan for it. And if I searched your name, what would I find? What would I understand about you as a recruiter? Are you just another recruiter? Are you not even found? Do you not even trigger the algorithm so your name comes up and it comes up on searches? Well, what would I find about you? Because most recruiters rely on CVs, they're relying on calls, they're relying on jobs. The good recruiters right now, they're building an audience, they're building authority with that audience, and they're creating inbound activity. So people coming to them and saying, can you deliver for me? Can I buy from you? As opposed to continuously outreaching, trying to win business all the time. We call it the influence formula. You may have seen this before. We talk about it quite a bit in some of our programs, about this piece around building trust, building a presence, and then creating a perceived authority with your marketplace. Get that piece right. It transforms how you're positioned in the market, which is good for visibility, but also it means people look at you in a different way when it comes to what they're going to buy from you at the same time. So if I was to ask you who on here consistently posts on LinkedIn, most of you will probably put your hand up or say, well, I do whenever I possibly can. That's absolutely fine. But a lot of that stuff is the vanity metrics. We post on LinkedIn, we get some vanity likes, we get some followers. It is what it is, but nothing really happens. How many people actually get business from their activity on LinkedIn? I think very few. That's the sanity stuff. That's what we measure in a lot of our programs and our content, is about how do you just not use LinkedIn as a place to stroke your ego, but actually how do you use it to convert into jobs, into meetings, into placements, etc. That's why we built the social scaling program, which is our free 6-week personal branding development. I'm not selling this is free. 6-week personal branding program to how to build an amazing super brand at the top of your funnel that drives conversions, drives activity, drives engagement. We've just finished the last cohort of 100 members. We're another 100 about to join, I think, in the next one quite soon. Get involved with these things, learn how to beat the LinkedIn algorithms, learn how to grow and build a proper community on social media, and learn how to convert that into absolute revenue. This is not about content building, it's about pipeline building. There's a difference, a big difference between the two. And that's what we're focused about. So when we look at, this is from social scaling actually, when we look at sort of the analysis of the content and the posts we're building out on the left-hand side, the vanity stuff, but then the sanity stuff is how many is it converting into proper calls to action? We have a framework and a process that we follow. How does that drive up the analytics, drive up your outputs to get meetings, to get people eyeball to eyeball with your customers? And how does that drive up your social selling index score, which I'm sure you will measure at the moment, and so on and so forth. So important to understand this stuff, because we can waste time on LinkedIn, or we can use LinkedIn as one of our best channels when it comes to creating face-to-face meetings with customers and targeted customers. And this is all part of the sales process. It's not something random thing over here. This is part of the sales process. And sales in 2026 is an art and it's a science. And you as a recruiter, your recruiters need to understand both the art and the science and be bloody excellent at both of them. It's no good enough anymore just doing sales stuff. You've got to have a strategy. You've got to have some science behind it, and you've got to be bloody good at how you do that. The core principles, as we've always said, haven't changed in sales. I won't go through this in detail, but what way we've always done sales hasn't changed. That's still the same today, and we must stick with that. So just be careful. There's a lot of people out there selling these completely left field blue books and blueprints and stuff about how you can do things differently. The principles are the same, and they won't change forever. But the wrapping has definitely changed. That's the key to all of this. So how we sell is different now because how people buy is different. And when we do our sales training course that some of you have been on, we'll talk a lot about actually how does a cold call actually work in this type of market? Because it does work, but you have to do it slightly differently from maybe how you used it before because of the way privacy rules are set up and spamming rules are set up. How do you get better conversions from your email campaigns and so on and so forth? Okay, so the principles haven't changed. It's the wrapping that has changed when it comes to sales. And the question is so important to understand. It's no longer about how can I sell to my ideal customer profile, but the question is now about how do I get my ideal customer profile to want to buy from me? There is a massive difference. And if you can figure this piece out, it will transform it because then you spend less time doing outreach and more time doing in-reach, basically responding to people who are coming to you, customers coming to you saying, can you come and sell to me? I need to talk to you. We build this in our omni-channel, multi-channel sales funnel strategy, and that we talk about in our sales programs, where you've got an outbound and inbound sales strategy, fairly simple. All your outbound stuff, all good, it's all right. You don't stop doing this stuff. You don't replace it with all the fluffy stuff. You do this stuff, it's important, but you do it better and more targeted and with a different wrapping, as we talked about. But then at the same time, you've got your inbound channels as well. This is the stuff that gets people to come to you rather than you go to them. And so when you're building your sales strategy, you need to think about an outbound and inbound strategy, and you need to make sure you have a plan for half a dozen of each of these. So pick, again, in your next 90-day sprint, pick 2 or 3 of these that you don't do well at the moment. Do them brilliantly well. Understand how to do what works in this type of market. Do them brilliantly well and watch the difference it makes, especially on the inbound stuff as well. And again, if you need any help with this, you'll see this in our sales training manuals we built, and we've got guides on each of these different channels, how to do these brilliantly well in this type of market, because it's changed and it's evolved. And if you're just doing the old school way of doing it, it won't get the same level of traction. So think about it. Think about your ideal customer profile. What are their priorities? And then let's tap into those priorities and use that as part of our strategy. I just mapped out for you here a list of some of the key HR priorities of HR professionals this year in order. So these are the things that HR people are saying are my biggest challenges I'm thinking and facing right now. Again, you turning up on my door, specking out a CV, is going to be an annoyance right now as much as anything else. So instead of doing that, let's focus on how can we add value to our customers and focus on this stuff here. Again, this could be data, this could be insights, this could be whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. But this, if you go to your customers and help them with these things or talk about these things, they will engage with you, they will talk with you. If you're just specking out CVs all day, you're missing the point here a little bit. Does that make sense? Pretty obvious. Again, look at your ideal customer profile and work out what their challenges are, what their focuses are, and add value. You'll see all this in our playbooks. I'm sure you've all got copies of my playbooks now because I've been giving these away for ages. But if you haven't, just give me a yes or a thumbs up in the chat and we'll get these across to you. We've got the playbook we built in 2024. We've got the RevOps playbook from last year. And we've got the brand new Velocity playbook, which is being launched at the moment. With the Velocity framework, which is this new version of doing future fit, future relevant sales strategies. It also comes obviously with all the AI agents that we've built, the training workshops for the consultants and so on and so forth. Again, all free, but just important to have a plan, have a strategy, stick to it, drive it, check the data to make sure you're improving it, and then using AI to drive it for you even better and even faster. Okay, so let's be honest. How many of you are feeling really busy at the moment, but not necessarily productive? And that was a big question from 2024, 2025. We were busy, hustling around, but we weren't really just getting the results that we wanted. So then we think about, well, what's the biggest drain on our time right now? And why are we not getting the conversions we want? Is it admin? Is it BD? Maybe it's not working as well as it could do. Is it our candidates and ghosting us? Is it internal process? What is it? What is draining our time and effort, keeping us away from doing the stuff where we make the most money in a recruitment business? And again, pick some areas. Let's focus on candidates. Let's say for the moment, I'm going to focus purely on my candidate strategy in the next 30, 60, 90 days. I'm going to get 10% improvements across 3 or 4 or half a dozen areas when it comes to candidates and placements. And that's going to become my obsession for the next 90 days and my strategy to improve that. And we talk about this in the candidate pool playbook. Again, if you want a copy of it, let me know and I'll send it through to you. And it's about basically, this is a whole playbook we built and put together about how to improve these things here, how to get quicker time to fill metrics, better pipeline deal velocity, improve your CV to interview ratios, etc. in this world that we're in at the moment. Because it's not just about bringing in business, we've got to convert that damn stuff and we've got to convert it at scale and quicker than anybody else and therefore get a better margin. So if you want the pool playbook, we'll ping that across to you. So you've got a copy of that as well. And in that playbook, we're talking about how we're utilizing our silver medalists and our PPCs and our sort of passive future movers and our core placements, etc., to win more business and to increase the value of a candidate as an asset within our business. And again, we look at the data. So we're measuring things by, by type, by engagement response rates, by activation response time. Don't think this is very complicated. I'm overcomplicating. I'm really, really not. I'm just obsessing about how do we get faster shortlists, higher conversion ratios, better acceptance rates, lower cost per placement, because that stuff drives the profitability of your desk and of your business as well. Okay. Because this productivity piece we talk about, from sales, from your social media strategy, from your candidate strategy, is all around this thing. Is not a time problem that we've got. We don't have an issue with time. We've just got to focus on a system problem. We're not focusing on the right stuff, and we haven't got the right systems in place to drive that, because really only 4 things really matter right now if you want to do better. Your conversations, the number of conversations, the quality of your conversations, especially face-to-face with your customers and candidates, your quality roles that you're bringing in, the value of those roles, your conversion of those roles, and the consistency. So if you get those 4 things right, that's all that matters running a great desk and growing a desk as a 2026 recruiter. Everything else, let's be honest, is just noise if you think about it. Okay, so what is actually driving your billings right now as much as anything else? And this is where we can use AI, because AI will free you up to do your best work. And if you haven't got an AI strategy right now, I don't know what you're doing. I really, really don't. The reality is, we did some stats recently. About 78% of the industry aren't even using AI at the moment. I haven't even thinking about it, let alone having a strategy for it, which is madness when you think about it. So if I was to ask you who on the call today is already using AI daily, you probably would say, yeah, I'm using it, absolutely fantastic. But if I asked you how many of you are actually using it properly, I don't think we have the same number of people on the call. For that, there's a reality. We know this is what recruiters are already automating using AI, all these things you see on the screen here. So I'm presuming all of you are doing all this stuff right here, right now. If you're not, you need to be, and you should be. So take a screen grab of that list or ping it across to you to put a plan in place to make sure you're doing that, because that's the stuff that just gets in the way of your day-to-day job now in this type of market and frees you up to go out and do other better stuff. We talk about this in Traction. This is our AI development and coaching program. It's a live 4-week AI program where we're teaching people how to build AI agents and agentic AI and those platforms that I showed you a second ago. How to build those things so you can then basically use AI as a way to superpower and supercharge your performance rather than replace you, or whatever that stuff people are sort of worried about or sort of talking about at the moment. So again, if you're interested in the Traction program, just give us a yes or a thumbs up and we'll let you know about that when it goes live. Again, free to attend. We're not charging for this. It's all part of what we offer to our members at TRM. But it's really, really cool, and it's going to really show you how to get on top of this type of stuff. Part of what we're doing in Traction, and again, part of what I'd hope that you guys are thinking about doing now, is building out AI first recruitment flows. So you can see where AI actually moves the needle and moves the dial in your business. So around sourcing, candidate outreach, map out your workflows, work out where AI sits in here. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Build the agents to do it, turn on the tech to do it, and off you go, sort of stuff. And suddenly you're becoming this machine where you can turn stuff out so much quicker before, because most recruiters tend to spend at least 40, 50, 60% of their time on low value work, where what we want to do is go, okay, what do we can completely automate? What can we augment and superpower using AI? And then basically, what are we going to keep human? Because this is not about replacing human side of recruitment. This is about how do we use AI to allow us to be more human than we've ever been before. And again, there's some examples and things here for you to take away and think about, but you should be obsessed about this. And again, if you go onto the TRM Well platform, you'll find our AI Mastery Project, the 8-week program, which is all about basically, you can start it whenever you want to start it. And it basically is how to actually go from a complete loser when it comes to AI into an absolute zero to hero, whatever the expression is. Basically, how to really get on top of your AI strategy. It's all there for you. Help yourself. Just get on with it. Have a strategy. Have a plan. Start building agents. Start utilizing this. And if you really want to get into a deep dive of this, complete Project Automate, which I think is absolutely the way to build a proper AI strategy in a recruitment company. And I'm working with loads and loads of members at the moment on their Project Automate plans. Again, if you want help with that, just give us a yes or whatever. We'll ping that across to you afterwards. And it's a way of mapping out a recruitment company from a workflow point of view, and then identifying what should be automated using tech and AI, etc. And it'll show you what you actually do all day, where your time goes, and obviously what can be automated using AI. Okay, so A lot I've thrown in there, as always, and apologies, you know what I'm like, or most of you know what I'm like anyway. But I do think that we're seeing the birth of these super agencies, these super recruiters at the moment, whatever you want to call them, in 2026. To build a super agency, your business needs to be future relevant, number one. You need to be providing the right types of services to your customers and to the right types of customers that matter, and damn well charging for it. And your recruiters need to be future fit. That's it. Future relevant, future fit. Get that piece right, you will fly in 2026. Don't get that piece right, you're going to have another tough year where you're going to may do well, but you're going to have to bloody well hustle hard in order to maybe stand still, if anything. The market's evolved, but not necessarily have the industry or our recruitment companies all evolved. So the old models of, is it permanent contract, supplier list, CV send out, speed, volume? That's the old model. The new model is about outcome delivery, partnerships with our customers, removing risk in the process, about precision, but at speed, value, return on investment. This is an evolution of what we're already doing as an industry, as recruiters are already doing. It's not a diversification. Don't think this is some left field crazy new strategy. It's not. It's about doing better with what we're already doing and moving up 2 or 3 gears, moving up that ladder so we become more predictable, more sticky, have more influence, and obviously therefore create more margin with our customers as well. Moving up that food chain at last, the market's perfect for it. So to do that, things we talked about today, things to think about. You need to be more productive, and I put 6 things on there, or 5, there's 6 things there that you can sort of focus on. 10% increases in all 5 of those top things, and 10% decline or reduction in the admin and non-billable time. That will have a massive impact. So in the next 30, 60, 90-day sprint, focus on those 6 things. What are you going to do about it? And if you need help with it, we'll give you the tools to do so. Second thing is consultative. You need to be productive. You need to be consultative as well. Think about what you're selling, how you're moving up that pinnacle food chain to be selling better, more embedded, more higher value products that your customers are already buying today from consultancies. You're just not selling it to them, but you already have it. Think about how you can become more insightful using salary benchmarking and data and insights, and sharing that with your market, sharing that with your customers. And if you're doing it properly, then monetizing it. Build the tech around it if you need to, because it's free now. That's the cool thing about this. Think about being multi-directional. So you haven't just got outbound sales activity happening, you've got inbound sales activity happening at the same time, using those multi-channels across that top of the sales funnel. And think about being AI augmented. 80-20 rule, 80% of the crap that we do day to day as a recruiter should now be AI. 20% is left for us to finish off, which frees us up to spend more time being human in front of customers, sitting in their boardrooms, talking to them about moving up that food chain, doing more consultancy work with them and advisory work about future planning and so on and so forth. You ain't going to win that type of business if you're just specking out CVs all day or sending out emails or picking up phone calls. You've got to get in front of your customers to be able to do that. So you have 90 days. I like to do everything in 90-day sprints. What are you going to do to start your journey to being a super agency? I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, just in the chat, can I ask you all to write down one thing in the chat for me? Just to let me know, based on what we talked about today, what's the one thing you're going to focus on and obsess about in the next 90 days to start moving up that channel into becoming more of a super agency based on what we talked about? And I'd just be very, very keen just to see a couple of you put in the chat for me about what it is you're going to do. A lot of it around AI, fine, which is great. Etc. More consultancy, good. Productivity, efficiency, good. Okay, this is the stuff, guys. Do all this stuff, 1, 2, 3, 10%, add it together. Just watch what happens to your business in 2026. That's how you build a super agency. That's how you become a recruiter 2026, and future fit and future relevant for that matter as well.
Hi there, I'm James Osborne, the co-founder of the Recruitment Network, and this is the TRN Podcast. Every week, we unpack the strategies, the technologies, the processes and mindsets fueling today's top performing recruitment agencies. We take a look behind the scenes of some great recruitment businesses. We listen to the real life stories of those who have built those businesses, and we learn from some of the industry's greatest thought leaders to help you become both future fit and future relevant. So let's begin with this next episode of the TRM Podcast.